Bad Boys for Life is the third entry in this long-running franchise. The first one to not be directed by Michael Bay. This one is directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. I apologize if I got those names wrong. And this reunites for the first time in a while Mike, played by Will Smith, and Marcus, played by Martin Lawrence. And they're two wisecracking buddy cops. They've been partners for almost 25 goddamn years. They've survived, drug lords trying to kill them, people coming after their families, a whole bunch of personal strife and everything, and they keep cracking jokes. They keep surviving car explosions, building explosions, a whole bunch of explosions. And that was just in the first two movies. Actually, it was just in Bad Boys 2, because my God, a lot of cars got blown up in that one. And now in this, they are a lot older, and we get to see, do they still have the magic? If you enjoyed the first two Bad Boys movies, however you feel about Michael Bay, and I'm very hit and miss on Michael Bay. I like The Rock. Armageddon was hit and miss to me. Pearl Harbor I didn't really care for. The Transformers movies, those speak for themselves. But I like The Rock. That's where he actually captures some, good centered characters, even among all the goofy, technical wizardry that he did and all the explosions and all the one-liners and stuff like that. I like the first Bad Boys. The second Bad Boys did get a little excessive, though. With 8 years of advancement, he wanted to, crash a whole bunch of cars. With this one, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's pulpy fun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, this one is somehow a lot more centered than the Michael Bay ones, despite being absolutely ridiculous. Now, among the rest of the cast, and I'm not going to get into spoilers here, I'll get into spoilers here in a little bit, but obviously Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are a lot older at this point. Marcus seemingly wants to retire as he finds out that a new entry comes into his life. He's got, he wants to spend more time with his family. He spent enough time fighting crime and killing people and stuff like that. And Mike, Will Smith, wants to keep doing this stuff because there may be a reason for it. And we get to find out that this movie is as much of a sequel as it is kind of an origin story, that you get to find out some stuff, not to spoil anything, but you get to find out there's a bit, of an origin story here. And you get to find out why people are the way they are. Also in this movie, Joe Pantoliano, or Pantaloni, I know I already screwed that up right there. Very, very wise, cracking captain. Does tend to drink a lot of Pepto and does tend to, crack a whole lot of wise. He's upset with these guys. They're rogue cops that don't play by the rules. Also, Paola Nunez, and I'm sure I got that wrong. She plays the character of Rita. I need to find out more of what she's been in. I know I've seen her in stuff before, and I need to backtrack and see some other stuff she's been in. She was fabulous in this. And also Vanessa Hudgens. She is in this. So if you're a fan of her, you may like actually some scenes that she's in. There's not a lot of depth to a lot of the characters, though. The villains, I will say, do have a lot more depth to them, even though it's kind of a silly premise. They at least have a lot more depth to them than the other one. I mean, the first two were just stock characters, and it was just yeah, we're gonna do this, or we're gonna do that, or we're gonna commit this simple act, and we're gonna get these cops to come after us and everything. They actually add some layers to one of the main characters. I'm not gonna say who, but if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. With this movie, though, an event happens that makes Marcus and Mike realize, hey, wait, there's more important stuff out there, especially for Marcus, because Marcus is getting a lot older and he wants to spend more time with his family. Mike, suddenly his focus shifts and he's like, okay, wait a second. I thought I was this young invincible guy, and now all of a sudden there's somebody that's giving me a new purpose, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to take care of this new problem. And then there's this new group, this new group of these cops, the Central Intelligence type stuff, named Ammo. And Rita's ahead of that and everything, and her and Mike have a past, and everybody really just has this very, very simple explanations for why they are the way they are. There's the wisecracking guy of the group. There's Vanessa Hudgens to bring in, the younger demographic, as she has been popular in a number of movies. And, is somebody that will bring in a lot of people. It's hard to believe she's actually that's been so many years ago. She was in High School Musical. But with this movie, what do you come for? You come for the stupid, dumb action, and this movie does deliver. Now, there are some incredible sequences that are absolutely ridiculous. There's this one chase that's featuring a two-seat, motorcycle, that's absolutely silly. It also might as well just be called Bad Boys for Life. Hispanics are bad because, boy, it treats not every single one, but it treats a lot of them like they're bad because that's where the tone shifts because it takes place between either Miami or, on the streets of Miami, or it takes place in Mexico City. And it does have some beautiful picturesque shots. Like, the directors actually understand a little bit of groundwork is needed. Now, that being said, there are some issues I have with this movie. Some of the special effects are a little silly. I was very surprised to see this dumped in January, and then I saw some of the computer generated effects. Like, they tried to almost do the stuff like Gemini Man, with the youthful Will Smith, except it didn't work necessarily in this, and it kind of didn't work there, but I digress. This movie had some issues like with that, but I don't want to say they took me out of it, but they were noticeable because I've seen a lot of action movies, and I liked the first two. First one more than the second one. This one delivered everything I absolutely needed, and I can't say I'm disappointed outside of a few issues and the characters being very one note and stuff like that. The villains, actually, it was simple, but it was effective enough the way they told it. They didn't spend too much time on it. The directors, they didn't spend too much time on it. But at the same time, they spent enough time on it. We're like, okay, you can sort of buy into this. And there were other characters that were just cast off to the side. This also has a shocking amount of like just out of nowhere violence. This was some good stuff. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the excess because I don't mind if you're going to be an R-rated action movie, don't just make it about swearing. Go for the freaking gore. Go for the freaking blood and stuff like that, and go for a bit of shock value. I can't say it was so much gratuitous. I mean, there were a few shots, I guess, that people could say that if they haven't watched action movies. But with this movie, it was just silly. It was ridiculous. And it was fun, and it did end up hinting at a sequel, I will say that much. So overall, if you like first two, you will like this one. Now I'm going to get into spoilers though. So if you are here, spoiler zone 3, 2, 1, and go. Spoilers. So Mike has a past. It turns out that there is this woman that was freed from, this seemingly like, Mexican jail sweatshop. She was freed by, member of or by some of the cartel because, oh yeah, she's a drug lord's wife, and she has taken over because her husband died, and she has a son. She has sent this son after Mike, but after other people that had something to do with her case, wanted to make him suffer and stuff like that. The son, being headstrong and everything, eventually comes into some money that the dad had buried, and under the sea, Darling is better, downwards with her, take the money. But what basically ended up happening, yes, they do reference the Bad Boys song a lot. So you get Bad Boys, what you gonna do? No, I'm not gonna sing the song because I'm white and I can't sing. But they do reference that a few times. That actually is funny. So, and it's a goddamn catchy song. You can't help but be caught up with that. So it turns out that Mike knows who this woman is. He finds out who this person is that's trying to kill him, the son. It turns out it's actually his son, because he was undercover before he became a Miami cop, and he was so undercover that he fell in love with this woman. They were going to run away together, then he chose the badge instead and sent her to jail. But it turns out they got really close, and, that kid, the one that's trying to kill him is actually his son. So Will Smith has, like, a lot of younger versions of him trying to kill himself all of a sudden. First it, was Gemini Man, and now it's this. And then it was After Earth. Wait, no, that was just me watching After Earth, wanting everybody in that movie to die. That movie was bad. After Earth was terrible. But does this movie deliver what you would expect? Dumb, pulpy action and, some laughs? Oh, yeah. I have never been the biggest fan of Martin Lawrence. I do want to say that, here during the spoiler part. But I will say that him and Will Smith do create some magic. Sure, if you try to analyze too much of this movie, it's going to be something where you're just like, okay, this is absolutely ridiculous, it's absolutely dumb. And it also does hint at this sequel where it seems like this group and Mike and, Rita do have a bit of a past and everything. I don't know why he would shun her, because I gotta say this, as far as just an actress, as far as how she looked, if he's going to shun that, she is beautiful, and she would be absolutely, like, as far as a character, they're so opposite. They have a past, but of course they're going to get together, because of course they do. And you got stuff with Martin Lawrence doing, being a family man and everything, and pissing off his wife, who I believe is the same woman from the other two, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I've seen them, and some of the actors do look older, some of them age fine, some characters don't necessarily register with me. But as far as an action movie, as far as something crazy, yeah, there are some stunts that are ridiculous. There are some action sequences that are ridiculous. It is a freaking action movie. It's going to get a B, and it's going to get a B because it's fun. Now, as far as like a story and everything, as far as anything like that, no, this movie probably would be like a D plus, a C minus, but it's going to get a B because it's fun. And I didn't expect anything less, and I enjoyed that. So there are, some other things in this. I just spoiled a little bit of it. I mean, that was the big twist of it, but you find out that the son's still alive, and oh wait, you get to find out that the son's in jail, and maybe he can give some information that could get him out of jail soon, and maybe we could get Bad Boys and Son for life. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, it was a fun movie. B, maybe pull up there. Who knows? Anyway, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.